Hey dolls, it's your girl Jazzy J. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. So this video that we're going to do, I know you can see the title. It has been long overdue. I have been getting a ton of questions, a lot of love, and a lot of support. So I mentioned in my vlogs that I would do a sit down and kind of just get it all out there. That way I really don't have to talk about it, anymore, because it has been tough for me to talk about it, literally. And y'all excuse if y'all hear the kids in the background. They're right next in the next room over. But it's been very hard for me to talk about, and it's been a very emotional roller coaster. So with that said, I'm going to answer all your questions. I have so many questions. A lot of it I am going to have to go to Google to discuss because I'm still learning myself. So, this is ginger ale. I actually had a very bad night last night. I started some new medication and my body just felt crazy. I was nauseous and vomiting all night, got no sleep. I still felt absolutely terrible, but I've been putting off this video for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and get it done. So let's talk about it. Alright, so the first question that so many people have asked me is, were you sick? No. I never felt sick. I felt amazing half the time. And this is going to be two questions in one. If I wasn't sick, then how did I find out? Alright, so we're going to go back to last year. I go to the doctor pretty regularly because I suffer with like thyroid issues. So my doctor does blood tests on me every 6 months. Once a year she does a big, like, real thorough. So one day I went to go get my blood work done, and it's usually fine. But my doctor called me herself and was like, hey, I got your blood work back. I don't want you to get, scared or anything, but I saw like a high level of something in your blood, and I kind of want you to see like a hematologist just to, make sure it's nothing serious. And I was like, you sure? Like, what's going on? Because you sound very serious. She was like, no, I don't want you to worry, but I am going to send you, to that hematologist, and I want you to, to stay on top of the referral. Like, if you don't hear from them in like a couple days, I want you to call. So that went for a couple weeks. They never called me. I didn't call them. She said, I didn't think nothing of it. And then she kept calling me. She kept having her nurses call me like, have you heard from them? Have you seen a doctor? So at this point, I'm starting to get concerned. And I'm like, well, what is it? And she was like, well, we found, some protein in your blood. And it's kind of just, has me a little concerned. But I just want to make sure before, I say anything. And to me, Miss Google Queen, I went to Google it and I thought I had diabetes. And I'm like, why wouldn't she just tell me that? So I got a letter in the mail from the referral office, and on top of it, it said Cancer Research Facility. My heart literally stopped. And I was like, she said I was going to see a hematologist. Why does this say Cancer Facility? So I made my appointment and went to the doctor. So when I spoke to the hematologist, which was actually an oncologist, she was like, do you know why you're here? And I was like, absolutely not. My doctor saw some proteins in my blood, and I was like, do I have diabetes? I was like, why I'm at the cancer facility? I said, I'm really concerned. And she was like, okay. She said, because some people know why they're here and some people, they don't. And then she said the protein that they found in my blood is this blood condition that's called MGUS. And I do have to Google it for you, child, because I don't know. So MGUS. and I'll put it on the screen, is a monoclonal gammopathy of undetermined significance. It's a blood condition that occurs when the plasma cells in the bone marrow produce abnormal antibodies called M protein. That's what she told me I had. And she was like, you know, MGUS is something, she said, you really don't have to worry about it. She said, it doesn't make you sick. You don't have to worry about it. She said, but MGUS could later on in life lead up to multiple myeloma cancer. It's considered stage 1. But she said it was slow processing. I would probably never see the cancer side of it because she said it moves so slow. She said it'd be like 20 years. You probably never even see the cancer side of it. And I was like, oh, okay, so I have nothing to worry about? She was like, no, absolutely nothing to worry about. She said, we'll just do your blood work every 3 months, make sure, you know, nothing's changed, and we'll just watch you for years. Easy. Sound easy. I did my blood work every 3 months. My levels spiked just a little, but they always told me I had nothing to worry about. Alright, so that is what I was diagnosed with first. I knew already that I had a blood condition, stage 1, for myeloma cancer. But I really honestly never thought I would be where I am today because the doctor reassured me that I would never probably have multiple myeloma, just MGUS. Alright, so moving on. The next question was, when were you diagnosed? So I dropped that video here on YouTube. I'll leave the video right here when I share with you guys the day that I found out. But let me go to my calendar. So I found out, I believe May the 14th or 15th. And this is how I was diagnosed. Once I moved from Georgia, South Carolina. So I started seeing a new oncologist just so they could watch me per usual. And then when I started going to that oncologist, she would see me like once a week. And every time she saw me, she was like, your blood level, it just keeps spiking, spiking, spiking. She said, I'm kind of concerned. And then she asked me, was I going through anything? And I was just like, well, my hip has been hurting me pretty bad lately out of nowhere. And one of the symptoms of multiple myeloma is lower back pain and hip pain. So she was just like, I am really concerned. So I had a bone marrow biopsy done. When I got my results back, she said that I was in full-blown active multiple myeloma cancer. And it was in my bone marrow. So as soon as she told me that, not even 2 days later, I was in cancer class. And then 3 days from that, I was sitting in a chemo chair. Just that fast. She said it was highly aggressive. And it's a lot of activity going on in my bone marrow. And I'm like, how? I was just told I would never see that. Like, it would just be a slow process. I just had a blood condition. Y'all, to hear the words that I was in full-blown active cancer, it felt like my world stopped and they were just speaking to me and I couldn't hear a single word. It was like, I don't know, like they were moving in slow motion, or I couldn't make out much of what was said. She was explaining to me. It was just going so fast. I was shaking. I was shaking. The whole staff came in there and gave me, y'all, I'm going to try to get through this without crying. But the whole staff came in there and gave me so much support and love. And it has been going fast since that day. Alright, so the next question was, what symptoms did you have? So that pretty much was my symptom was, I had pain in my hip. And that was it. Felt fine. That was my symptom. Is it curable? So as of right now, there is no cure. Only thing they can do is treat it. It's very treatable. Very much treatable. So I'm relieved on that part that it is treatable. Sad that it's not curable. So it is something I would have to revisit multiple times in my life. Alright, next question is, what's your treatment plan? So I'm currently on my treatment right now. I do infusion shots in my belly once a week. I've just started a new chemo medication, which had me sick last night, plus some other medications. So that is my current treatment plan. And actually, 2 days ago, I really got some great news. I know that's not part of the question, but the doctor said that the chemo was actually working. And I'm so excited to hear that. So we're still on the road, but it's doing what it's supposed to do. Alright, so the next question is, can you explain what multiple myeloma is? So let me go to my handy dandy Google. So, multiple myeloma. The plasma cells are a type of white blood cells in the bone marrow. With this condition, a group of plasma cells becomes cancerous and they multiply. So they multiply a lot. So they are flowing through my bone marrow, making replicas of, say if it's a T cell, it's making 1,000 T cells. You don't supposed to have number one. A cell is making multiple of A cells. Multiple myeloma is a cancer that forms, which I just said, a white blood cell called plasma cell. Healthy plasma cells help fight infections by making proteins called antibodies. The antibodies find and attack germs. Someone with multiple myeloma, cancerous plasma cells build up in our bone marrow. The bone marrow is the soft matter inside your bones where blood cells are made. In the bone marrow, the cancer cells crowd out healthy blood cells. So it makes so many of the bad ones. My healthy cells can't help me get well when I get sick. Rather than make helpful antibodies, the cancer cell makes proteins that don't work right. That leads to complications of multiple myeloma. This is the next question. What is the life expectancy of a person with multiple myeloma? This part scares me a lot. It says the life expectancy of someone that has multiple myeloma, 10 years or more. They said, but with early diagnosis and treatment, it helps people live longer. So 78% of people who have multiple myeloma can live a long life. That scares me. 10 years or more. I am a young mom with young kids. To hear that they can't cure it, they could just treat it, but the life expectancy is 10 years or more. But thankfully they caught mine so early. My doctor said with treatment and the fact that she sees that I could reach remission within 4 to 5 months, that I should be able to live a very long, healthy, normal life. That's hard to say that. We all know it's going to come a time, but it's really hard to have someone tell you that. But only God knows. So I try not to dwell on that part too much and just live my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to dwell on that. Alright, so the next question I got, let me go to my questions. It says, how does multiple myeloma affects the body? So again, it causes a bunch of bad cells, so you can't get well. So, and y'all, this is the craziest thing. I found out that I had an uncle who had the same cancer, and he did die, but not from the cancer. It's because he caught pneumonia, and his body wasn't able to fight it. So, how it affects our body? We have pain in our body, like our back, our hips. And not only that, if we catch a cold, if we catch pneumonia, it could literally kill us. Because we don't have enough of the right white blood cells to protect us and fight back. It says, I already said that one was the common symptoms. How is multiple myeloma diagnosed? It's diagnosed through blood work and a bone marrow biopsy. And what are the risk factors associated with multiple myeloma? The risk factors are, multiple myeloma is like rheumatoid arthritis times 100. Your body just hurts all the time, and the risk factor is you can't fight off a simple cold. Can multiple myeloma be prevented? That I will have to research. Alright, it says there is no known way to prevent most cases of MM because few cases are linked to avoid risk factors. So there's no prevention. There says there are no risk factors that you can avoid to prevent this disease. It's not hereditary, even though my uncle had it. It's not hereditary. It's of unknown significance is what they say. So they have no idea. What are the different stages of multiple myeloma? So again, that first stage was MGUS, which is the blood condition. They consider that to be stage 1. So it says, Google, that MM has 3 stages. Second stage is the active stage of actual cancer as it grows and spreads throughout your bone marrow, increasing symptoms and complications. That's when a person starts experiencing symptoms. So I guess now I'm at stage 2. They said, which is bone pain, loss of appetite, and fatigue. So I did experience a lot of fatigue even before I found out I had MGUS. I just felt like some days I was just tired. So I did have that as a symptom. So, and then stage 3 is when you have to get a bone marrow transplant, which I will have to get that as well. I hope I'm not all over the place, y'all. Y'all see all these? I don't know if y'all can see. Maybe it's too bright. Dang. But it's, dang, it's not gonna pick it up. It's like 20 questions on here. Oh God, I don't know if I'm gonna go through all of them, but some of them are repeated. Alright, so different stages. We already talked about treatment option. What is the role of chemotherapy? Chemotherapy is to kill all the bad cells that have made multiple replicas of themselves over and over. It's to kill off as much of them as possible, which puts you in remission. How does MM affect quality of life? Besides being in pain a lot, and now you have to be fearful of being around people, you know what I'm saying, because you don't want to get sick, because getting sick for us it could be a life or death situation, you know. And it's really sad because I have a family reunion coming up, and I'm fearful to go because I could get sick from the hugs and the kisses, and my body, I have a hard time fighting it off. Like, it could literally lead me to the hospital. So, to answer that, this is a good one. Can MM recur after treatment? Absolutely. Because there's no cure, even with remission, and my doctor and I just talked about it, it can come back. Well, it's never gone. It's not gone. All they're going to do is literally put it to sleep. But my doctor said with the chemo and the medication, it can put it to sleep for a year, 2, 3. They don't know. They just have to keep an eye on it all the time. But yes, it can reoccur. And I will have to go through the same treatments, chemo and medication, bone marrow transplant, all over to put it to sleep. Let's see. How does MM impact bone health? Alright, so let's chop it up this part. So 2 years ago, I actually had a 2 years ago, I had a bunionectomy. I'll show it. If y'all new here, you haven't seen it. But for anybody that is true here, y'all know. Show y'all the picture right here. I had a bunionectomy done, where they had to, you know, remove the big toe from the foot to line it up properly. That bone took over a year to heal. I saw 4 doctors. They all were confused to why the bone was not healing. They were lost. They had no idea. Kept telling me all kind of things. The doctor was like, I have never seen this. Why this bone won't heal? They put me back in a boot for a little bit of time. Said that I need surgery. Said it was arthritis, which is a symptom of MM. So technically, my bunionectomy, because the bone wouldn't heal, was my first sign of having this blood condition. Because one of the main things about having multiple myeloma is bone fractures. They take a long time to heal. So if I break my finger, toes, legs, God forbid, it would take years before it heals. So due to that bone not healing, no one, all the doctors I saw, never registered to them to check why won't her bone heal. Maybe they should have done a little research, because technically that was my first sign. So my bunionectomy actually was, it told me right there was something wrong, because that bone would not heal. So technically that was my first symptom. Let's see. What are some dietary and lifestyle considerations for you? You should consider a herbalist. I've had a lot of people tell me that. So I'm definitely going to research it. I want to start juicing. My doctor hasn't talked to me yet about dietary and changing, the way I eat. But that is something that I'm going to bring up to her. And I am going to actually check out some herbalist things and see what I could try and see if that helps. And it's going to be my last one. What are some ongoing challenges that you're dealing with MM? So, like I said, I am, for the most part, I felt pretty good. Only thing that I suffer with a lot is, of course, being fatigued. My hips hurt a lot when I do a lot of walking. And now, just recently, my lower back, it hurts a lot. So, sleeping gets uncomfortable. Trying to do everyday activities get uncomfortable for me. And then some days I feel like I'm super, super tired and I can't, I just want to lay in the bed all the time. But that is going to be the last of the questions that I'm going to answer. I hope that answers everybody's questions. So right now, a couple days I had my 5th round of chemo. So this will be answering what's new for me. So I have 19 more rounds to go. My doctor said within 2 months they're going to up my dosage of chemo, because the body is smart. Once you start feeding it some type of, something to get in there and it gets comfortable and it's like, hey, we know how to dip and dodge you now, so you don't affect us no more. That's the cells talking. So in order to kill off the last of the cells that's in there like dodging the chemo, they have to up my dosage. So for 2 months, I'll have a higher dosage of chemo. They're going to prepare my body for a bone marrow transplant. She said that I'll be out of work for like a whole month recovering from that. And that scares me. And then after that, she said they'll test me again to see if I'm in full remission. So I still got a long road. 19 rounds. Still got a long way to go. But she's saying by September, October, they could see a full remission for your girl. I should be able to live a regular life. I'll just have to be on medication and have a ton of blood work for the rest of my life. So that's where I'm at with it. Every day's a fight, And y'all, I made it through this video without crying. Thank you, Jesus. Because it's been so difficult to kind of say the things, and talk about it, and I don't know. But the craziest thing that I hear all the time is, you don't look like you have cancer. And I keep responding, what does that look like? because 80 to 90% of people who has cancer, they don't know that they have it. They live happy, healthy lives. They're not sick. They don't have any issues. They don't even notice the symptoms. So what does that look like? You know? Yes, there is some cancer out here that has, where you have a growth, and then, you know, you notice that you had a growth. And some of those cancers are so deadly that by the time anyone knows it or notices, they're already in a stage 3 to 4 before they even notice something is wrong. And not every chemo takes your hair. I had to ask that because immediately that's what I thought. You know, because we're not educated on, because we don't know. So last week I washed my hair for the first time since I was diagnosed. I was so afraid to wash my hair. And when I washed my hair, and I should have recorded it, I had a handful of hair in my hand. Like a lot. It was a lot. I was so emotional because I was like, I wasn't expecting this, because I asked that question. And they did say I would get some shedding, but it was a lot. But I guess it was so much because I hadn't washed or took my hair down since the day I started chemo. So I'm really just, you know, thinking all of that was from that whole 4 or 5 weeks that I was going through chemo. But I did shed a lot of hair. It's so thin. It is so thin. But not everybody is going to be bald head, fragile, eyes so... Sorry, y'all, my camera stopped on me. But everyone is not going to look like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like people want to see me sick. And trust me, I be sick. Last night was awful for me. I was so sick. I was so sick. And chemo usually wears off 2 to 3 days, and then you're back to feeling like your normal self. So it's just a crazy thing for people to say you don't look like you have cancer. But these scars on my belly, the way my insides feel, when I'm nauseous and vomiting everywhere, it definitely feels like it. It may not look like it because when I have a good day, this is how I show up. How do you want me to look? Cancer has a different face for everybody. There's people that goes in there and they don't look like nothing is wrong with them. Nothing. You cannot just look at somebody unless, yeah, obvious when they've lost all their hair and they're in a higher stage, and of course. But not everybody looks that way. Not everybody. It's people in there that look like regular Joes, like there's nothing even wrong with them, full head of hair. So it looks different for everybody. So I just thought that was the craziest question that I got. You don't look like it. Well, statement technically. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to kind of break it down, answer some of y'all questions. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm facing, fighting for my life right now. And I still question it, like, me? Every time I go in there, I'm like, me? This is my life? This is unreal to me. It still feels so unreal. And I'm thankful that I don't look the way my body feels right now. I feel terrible half the time. I just had chemo 3 days ago. Today is a rebuilding day for me. I've recovered. Now today is rebuilding. So for the next couple days, don't give you many. I'll have 3 good days and then I'm right back down. So I take my 3 good days and I show up and I look like this. But trust me, on the inside I feel freaking terrible. But I don't like for nobody to be worried about me or nothing like that. So I pretty much put on a good face though. But fighting for my life, y'all. And I hope that you guys will join me on this journey, because I am sharing it through my vlog content. So this is your first time watching me, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Join me on my road to remission. If there's any other questions, you could drop them down below. I'll be glad to answer them. So I'm going to get out of here because, like I said, I had a terrible night. I still feel pretty bad right now. I just wanted to go ahead and get this done and answer y'all questions. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all my doll babies. So hopefully you guys have subscribed. So I'll see you guys in the vlogs, honey. And y'all make sure y'all stay safe out there. Get your blood work done. Don't be afraid to get your blood work done. Go see a doctor. A lot of people are just so afraid. And I know medical costs a lot. It costs a lot. Trust me. Trust me. It's costing me $40,000 to be treated. Trust me. I know. But y'all get your blood work done. Get your physicals. Listen to your bodies. Really listen to your bodies. You know what I'm saying? Alright, guys. So I'm going to get out of here before I get emotional. I'm starting to feel a certain type of way. But I love and appreciate all y'all so much. Y'all stay safe and y'all stay slayed. I'll see y'all in the vlogs. Bye. I look better under you. I can't